various different services we can offer. We do asset management, property management, we have a members club Sharon's part of with fellow property investors, forums. There's some brochures on the table over there that just have some further information. Ignore this. On what we do. Okay, so commercial property. Can you see if I'm standing here? Yeah. All right. So, how many of you have commercial property already in your portfolios? Just a few. And anyone sort of looking to diversify into commercial? Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you, Sharon. All right then. So we're going to have 20 questions. As we're in 2024, let's get our phones out, get your notes app up. You're going to need to write the answer for each question. And then at the end of the questions, we're going to average out depending on the answer, if that makes sense. So I won't be offended if you're on your phones because you need to write things down. Unless you've got pen and paper, obviously. All right, let's go. So, what word best describes you? Cautious, eager, tenacious, strategic, dynamic. So, do you want to start writing it on your phone, making a note, because you're going to need to refer to it later? Yeah. Tenacious. I think that's a really good question, to be honest. Tenacious to me is bold. You're wanting to take maybe a risk. You're wanting to see what happens. You're not kind of overthinking about something. But I guess it's subjective. So whatever you feel it means. Right, I'm going to go on to the next one. What level of property investor do you think you are? New, you'd like to start simply. I've invested in residential before and would like to do something more innovative. I've been in this game a while and would like to be hands-on landlord. I've invested in SA or HMO and loved it, but I'd like to try something new. Or I would love to invest in every type of property. So whichever one you feel you're more leaning towards, that's your answer. Okay. What is your level of risk? Low, medium to high, or I like to hover around medium, but sprinkle in a mix of risks.
This in general?
I think it's probably more personality type, yeah. Yeah. Why did you want to get into property investment? To create a stable income, to make a bit of spare cash on top of your own income and to provide for your family, to provide an entrepreneurial space and earn money from it, generational wealth plus a little bit of income for me, to have a mix of assets that is constantly growing and earning an income. Okay. When starting the property hunt, you tend to research hard, analyse everything and carefully watch the market for months, analyse deals and quickly reach a conclusion as to whether a property is worth investing in, identify a property that could work for businesses and start to question, how can I make it work? Find a property that you know can offer more than it currently does and start looking for innovative solutions. Assess all aspects of one market and buy something of medium risk. If you want me to repeat any, please let me know if you're finding it hard to see. Alrighty. Property investment for you is a long-term investment which should provide you for a lifetime, a money maker to cover day-to-day costs, a long game with the chance to take on risk if you want to grow quickly, a medium-term game whereby diversification lowers the risk, and so the more varied investments you buy, the quicker you will see returns. All about diversity. I want to mix it up and invest for the medium to long term. Are these questions that some of you have thought before? Just curious now how investors' minds are working. Are they kind of making you think outside the box a bit? Yeah? Okay, good. All right, you would like to invest in locations which will offer a steady return, no void periods, kind of hard, but anyway, but also not much fluctuation in rent and capital growth, are offering growth at the moment. You know that over the next 6 to 12 months, you are going to take a high rental income. You are happy to get out of this as it wasn't always going to be a continuous trend. Offer the potential for capital growth when the area is improving. At other times, offers the stability. You always know what you're getting. It's a varied market. You know there will be highs and lows, but by diversifying your investments, you will be able to ride any wave. Currently aren't the best, but you have the potential for huge things. How desirable is capital growth on properties that you invest in? I am happy for this to grow over the long term slowly. I don't need capital growth if I can see cash flow. Yes, I work capital growth in as part of my investment strategy, but ultimately it's about the cash flow. It's a must. I want to see the growth in year 1, year 5 and 10, but I also definitely need that cash flow coming in. I love capital growth, but want this to be a balance with my income. And what does rental income mean to you? After it's covered all my costs, the profit can be used for my savings or will build up over time to reinvest back into my property investments. After it's covered all my costs, I will reinvest it back into my property investments. Any leftovers will be spent on my own luxuries. Sounds nice, huh? I use my rental income as leverage for borrowing to diversify my property portfolio. My rental income is my personal income and it pays for my lifestyle. Rental income is great if it's produced by a property I can see going up in value. Are you all sort of getting the same letter or does it change?
Same mostly.
Change? Okay, halfway. 10. Which of these statements best describe your attitude to property management? I like the easy life, the less contact the better. It's okay, I'll do it if I have to. I love being organised. Once I've got my system in place, I can replicate it. It means property management is easy for me. I'm not quite sure who's ever said property management is easy, because it is not. I enjoy the strategic side of property investment. I'd be excited to implement a tactical management plan which gets me closer to my goals month on month. And I love strategy and tactics. I'd like to be an armchair investor or hire a property manager to do the rest. What yield appeals to you? 6. First. You're going for the high risk yield. You want to get some good property managers dealing with that. Can you all see those numbers? When searching for the right property you want, lots of options available right away, a number of properties available that are going to take a little bit of deal analysis to get through, a limited number of properties, which means you have to choose location first and then get hunting. Properties available, but you know for sure you're going to have to search hard before the right yield comes up. A hard search, but good yields when it becomes available. Patience is key. How much money have you got to invest with? How much time can you put into property investment on a daily basis? When analysing deals, you do the following. You like to de-risk everything about a property and then make a decision. Yes, this takes longer, but you like to make sure the deal works properly. Do a little bit of research on an area, do your property data report, put it in the deal analysis and decide yes or no. Spend more time phoning agents and getting a real feel for the area. Yes, the deal may work, but ultimately you see more for the building and the multiple ways of creating income. You like a little bit of risk in your property, but you do not want at least 50% of the property occupied on purchase, so that you don't have to analyse the whole thing. I.e. part taken. When thinking about your property investment journey, so far, you like your investments How long would you like to hold your properties for? I'm never selling. I don't fancy selling, but I'd happily change it to resi if it's not working. 15 years, 10 years, 5 years. How do you plan on funding your portfolio? My own cash. My own cash, and maybe at some stage some investor finance when I get confident enough. A mix of own cash and investor finance, pension or business profits, a mixture. Ultimately and honestly, when property investment gets tough, what do you do? Okay, last question. This excites you about being a property investor. Owning multiple properties that are low risk, understand the flow of the market, being hands-on and working on my property portfolio, sitting at my desk working out strategies and implementing them, having lots of different income.
You have to have one of those.
Yes.
It has to be exciting, Harriet.
Well, it helps. If you're not excited, then go with A. Okay, so now we need to calculate what percentage you had for each of your letters. So, for example, if you've got 6 A's, you do 6 divided by 20 times 100 to get your percentage. So I'll give you a few minutes to get all of your different percentages, and then I will reveal what each of the letter is, what type of property it is, and what that means. If anyone needs any help, let me know. Or you can just see how many you've got the most. if that's easier for now, and then you can work it out another time. I'm sorry, I'm getting you to do maths late at night. Does anyone have any ideas of what each letter could mean? Or completely in the unknown tonight? It's all good, we're here to learn, right? Okay, I'll just give you a few more minutes. And then we
What you
can...
could do,
Yeah.
if you've got 6 A's, you could change it to 3 A's and do 3 out of 10.
Do that way?
3 out of 10 to get my maths overboard.
Lots of different ways to do percentages. This spreadsheet is the best way of doing percentages. Alright, I'm going to go to the next page, and if you want me to help you afterwards, then I'm around. Okay, so A, industrial property. B, mixed use, a mix of commercial and residential in one building. C, offices. D, commercial multi-occupancy. E, retail. So that is what each letter is meaning. So whatever the highest percentages you've got from your questions is perhaps something to think about where you should invest your money in. Now, what do each of these different types of commercial property actually mean? Actually, just before that, can I just ask what everyone got? What was their most
B.
good type? D. Okay, CMO, yeah. Any others? E? Yeah, yeah. E. You got a mix, did you? What was your mix? Yeah. Okay. Well, you have a very diverse portfolio if you do that. Okay. Just quickly, in this booklet, I think it's the first page, here there's a QR code that will bring you up a Dream Portfolio spreadsheet where you can put each of the percentages of these types of commercial property in, and it will also ask you things like how much you want to invest, blah blah blah, and it will tell you how many properties you need to get the income that you're looking for. So you put the percentages that you've done tonight will fit into this spreadsheet here in this booklet. I've probably not explained that very well, but if you need to speak to me, then I'll put my details on at the end. Okay, industrial property. I'm not going to read out all of this because it's quite big. You like to take your time over investments, you don't want to be rushed. You want to have a lot of evidence on how these investments have performed before. You're not looking for a high yield, stability, nothing that has massive fluctuations in value, although industrial has seen quite a high fluctuation in value over the last few years, so whether that's going to stay or decrease, who knows. It will let time after time. You'll always make your mortgage payments and maintenance costs, professional fees, etc. So industrial, at the moment, safe option. Retail. Is that retail? No. sorry, I think I've made an error here. I thought that, okay. If you've got B, it's retail. If you've got E, it's mixed use. Sorry, my error.
You done it purposely.
Sorry?
You done it purposely to make.
I did,
to make
yeah.
sure that everybody is listening.
Yeah, that's it. That was on purpose. So yeah, sorry. B retail, E mixed use. That makes more sense to me as well, because retail is not as high risk as it was making it out to be. Okay, so retail, B. You are the sort of investor who likes to know about the type of property you're investing in. You're always going past high streets and thinking this could be done so much better. You like risk, but understand getting a good tenant lowers that risk, and you're prepared to put the time into securing that letting. Retail market is changing. Here we go, some cheaper location. With a storage unit in some cheaper locations, this is where industrial unit owners should be cashing in from people going online. The retailers need storage. The high street is not dead. Whenever I go into any high street, it's bustling all the time. Maybe people aren't spending a lot of money, but if you've got a good tenant who are innovative with their space, you will attract the right people going in there. Secondary retail is usually more where it's at. Premises are cheaper, so the retailer can get more bang for their buck, but the downside is they have to put more effort into getting customers to walk into their shop. Okay, office. You love a bigger building where you can have multiple tenants thriving there. Yes, it might be risky in the current market, but you're okay with finding the right business who's going to fit in your space. Office blocks also need to have good facilities, toilets, kitchens, lifts where possible. One of the awesome perks of an office space is your tenants will contribute to the cost of running this through a service charge, which means it's ultimately cheaper for you to run, and you can then build up a reserve fund for when you need to do things like replace the roof. The other thing about office space is tenants aren't looking to attract footfall. So they're just looking for a space that works for their team. So that can open up a lot more opportunities for locations. At the moment, there's a huge boom in the rise of serviced offices where you get an all-inclusive rent. So your service charge, your bills, and your rent it's just one payment. It's a little bit more to manage, but it does have good results. Okay, CMOs. You want to have generational wealth as well as maximising on net income. These are typically bigger buildings and take a larger amount of money to get into as well as having higher costs. The result can be absolutely stunning. You can create a building that's on brand, your brand, that local businesses want to occupy in. This is quite good for a lot of, I know David was talking about it, council buildings, community centres, village halls, that kind of thing that don't serve a purpose as much anymore. You can be innovative with what it can be. I think there was an old library in Cambridge that I saw, beautiful, beautiful building. It's just been sat vacant for years, but that could be a lovely CMO space with the right investment into developing it. To get started with this type of property, you need to look for big empty buildings that you can divide up, such as banks. Banks are good because a lot of banks are getting rid of their property at the moment. And then go and get creative. So it does take a lot of creativity to see the vision, but they are attractive, especially for local businesses if you're wanting to set up in a particular area. Okay, E, mixed use or commercial property. You definitely aren't averse to risk. That's what investments are all about. yet you understand the theory of modern portfolio theory, in that to reduce risk, you have to diversify your assets. So, yeah, mixed use is quite good because you've got the resi tenants above, and I would always advise to get a resi property manager on them, because I find personally resi property is a lot more personal to people than commercial property, because it's obviously where they live. There's going to be more issues with a resi property than there is commercial property. And just making sure as well, with David's example, having separate entrances, they need to have separate entrances, very important. But they can also be a service charge that both the commercial and resi tenants pay into to maintain the whole building. That can be something that is put in their leases. Okay. I hope that you found that useful and it made you kind of think a bit more about why you want to invest in property. At NC Real Estate we offer, as I said, Members Club. We do an accepted offer accelerator course, which is in 9 months, one-to-one weekly catch-ups with us, where we advise you on the properties you're looking for, and we help you to go under offer on a property that matches up with your goals. We do asset management, where it's a bit more involved with weekly chats, and we also go out and find deals for you and then help you through the purchase of that property, and then property management as well. So once you've acquired your property, we can manage it for you. This is my email, and if you wanted to book a call in with me, please scan the QR code and we can have a chat about your requirements. If you want to discuss anything with me, please do book in or send me an email. And thank you very much.
Harriet, this is for you for coming to speak to us tonight. Wasn't that brilliant, ladies and gentlemen? Absolutely. A lot of good nuggets about all the different commercial properties that you can actually get. So thanks again to Harriet, and another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so in the interest of time,